Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Hey Hey Sports Chicago. So if you're looking us up, it's Hey Hey Sports Chicago. It is 10/8, around 8:30, and putting a show together, and the Cubs are still alive. And if you're looking for the title of this one, we're going to, I want it to be, Cubs on life support. And
okay, fine. You'll get it. Yeah,
so if you're looking at it, they're on life support. They are still in trouble. They lost the first two games in Milwaukee. They won tonight. We will kind of give you our little thoughts about what happened in the last 3 days, and maybe tomorrow. But beyond that, we're not even going to project because, right now it's 2-1 with the Brewers. They still need. They got to win out.
Just win all 3 games.
Got to win out.
2 more games in a row.
Okay, can it be done? And every earlier shows I was listening to all day long, and I think it was a bad comparison. But 2016 in the World Series at one point,
yeah, they were done 3.
They had to win all 3 games to win the World Series, which they did. But collectively, as a team, this team is nowhere, in my opinion, not even remotely close to that 2016 team. They still had issues, like they scored in the first inning in all 3 games. Okay? And tonight they scored all 4 of their runs in the first inning and did not score the rest of the game. Okay? They, in the 6, now it is game 6, including the 3 with the Padres. 6 playoff games. They have now struck out 62 times in 6 games. That's averaging 10 strikeouts in a game. How many total outs are there in a game?
There's 27.
27. So we are bordering almost close to 50% of any of their strikeouts. 1 out of every 2 is a strikeout. Again,
27
we had
outs in every game,
and we had a home run tonight.
Yeah, they did. They did. Opening home run.
Opening home run, and again, opening home run, and they won a ball game. So once again,
well, but they also scored all the 4 runs in the first inning.
First inning, okay,
and then they didn't score again.
And
so, I mean, I know that, they won the game, but offensive production has been problematic, and I've been trying to tell people. Let me say something before you go. They're a top-heavy home run hitting baseball team. It's what they are. They don't hit home runs. It's a challenge for them. It's a challenge to watch them, and they go upwards. And I know that's not very, intellectual, and it's not smart, like a Brian Kenny, MLB network style of, analysis or whatnot. But it's true. It's what they are. And normally teams like that don't really win often. Up until the base knock with runners in scoring position with Nico Horner, they only had 2 hits with runners in scoring position throughout the whole postseason. So, after hearing that, how did they make it past the Padres? That's what I was wondering.
Right, that's a good question. And as of up to today, I heard another stat. And I told you before, statistics are for losers.
Yeah, you said that watching the game.
And we're going with statistics, but here's another disturbing statistic. I think up until the first 5 games, the Cubs had a grand total of 12 runs scored in 5 games.
That's not a lot.
And they're not, and they're still alive.
Well, you're better at math than me. 12 divided by 5.
It comes out to like 2.1 runs per game.
That's...
and they are still hanging around.
And they've had this great high-powered offense the whole year through.
Yes, and we will...
So, only 2 runs per game?
Yes, and when it comes time, we will discuss that stuff. But, they lost... the score of the first game was a disaster. Was it the 9-3 game right off the bat?
Yeah.
In game 1, where Boyd pitched. Now the question is who's going to pitch tomorrow.
Bush got a leadoff homer in
Yep.
that one too.
We'll talk, we got to mention, okay, Boyd pitched that one, and that was on Saturday. So now do you come back with Boyd tomorrow?
Imanaga already pitched game 2, did he not?
We'll talk about, Imanaga pitched game 2. And then today, Tyon pitched game 3. Now you got to go back to back. And this is the first time in the whole series where you're playing back-to-back days.
And let me say this.
So do you go with Assad?
Well, he hasn't thrown in a while. Okay. He hasn't pitched for a while.
Or Colin Ray?
I would go, if it was up to me, Javier Assad.
Okay.
But I'm not Craig Counsell. I'm not the $40 million manager. So there was another statistic that just popped in my head. Oh, yeah. Okay. And we watched the Yankees game, the previous one, in the final round, and we saw the Garrett Crochet game up in Boston when he threw
117 pitches.
Yeah, and because Schlitt for the Yankees in another game put up 112.
And that was his first postseason appearance.
And I said that got chalked up to 3 different things. Because nowadays with the pitch count and everything, you don't want pitchers going very often for that. So if you're going 112 and above for a whole complete game, that's 3 things. Consistency.
You're throwing strikes.
Control and durability.
You're not throwing balls.
And also trust. So it's 4. And you know that going in. But Tyon had, 70 in 4 innings?
70 in 4 innings, and if they would have let him go to the 5th because they thought about having him go to the 6th inning, he would have pitched well into the hundreds, and that wasn't going to take place.
And that's not good. If you're burning out that quickly in 4 innings, that's not good. And one point in time when they didn't have anybody because so many people kept getting injured, and then Ben Brown became unreliable.
But Ben Brown now says if we go to the next round, I'll be healthy.
Okay, my point being. My point being, once upon a time, Tyon was the ace for this team because they had nobody else, and he's given up 70 pitches in 4 innings. And I know he's not like that in every outing that he's done, but still, and I know it's an all men on deck, all hands on deck situation here because you're in a do and die playoff scenario, but still.
But you got to let guys, like tomorrow, you got Javier Assad or Ben Brown. In theory, you got 2 guys that have fresh arms that have not started a playoff game or have not started a game, period, in 2 weeks. Am I close?
Sounds about right. I don't know.
I can't remember the last time Ben Brown or Javier Assad started a game.
Ben Brown has not started for at least a couple months.
Okay.
That I do know.
But at one point in time, Ben Brown was their 5th starter.
For a couple of years.
Okay. So, that you don't need to go bullpen by committee tomorrow.
Well, what defined bullpen by committee?
Well, they call it a bullpen game, where a reliever is going to start and pitch 1 or 2 innings. But I don't see which guy's available. The only other reliever who didn't pitch tonight was Rogers and Ben Brown. But Ben Brown, is that long.
Also, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but when Kittredge made another appearance, his previous one, he also gave up a home run in that Padres game.
Why is it in regular season pitchers go, and I know it's all hands on deck, but managers go, well, this guy's not available today because he threw 20 pitches yesterday.
It's only 20 pitches.
So if these guys are gassed after 20 pitches...
Why are you in the MLB?
Why are you in the MLB, and then why are you even going... Kittredge now, I think, has pitched in all 6 playoff games. I think he's appeared in all 6 playoff games at this moment.
And he scares me.
I think Pomerantz has pitched in all 6.
I think he's pitched in every game.
I think Danny Thies, and I'm tired of him.
And what did you say to me during the show? Tell the people your opinion on Daniel Palencia and how you feel about him.
I think this is his last season with the Cubs.
Explain.
he started as the closer, and now he's a 6th and 7th inning man. And I know the playoff pitchers are different, but he got outplayed by Presley. He's getting outplayed by the guy that closed tonight. That was wild. Who was the guy that closed tonight?
I didn't catch his name.
Oh, the big, hefty guy.
I didn't catch his name.
Keller. Okay. I think he's done this.
Oh yeah, Brad Keller.
Yeah, they're hanging. And now you got to go tomorrow because you played Saturday. At least you had Sunday off, and you pitched Monday, and you had Tuesday off. Now you go Wednesday, Thursday.
And I know you don't want to go down the rabbit hole of talking about the season as a whole and the possibilities of what if you lose.
No, because when they do lose, we will go.
Well, no, I know you don't want to, but yet this needs to be addressed because at the current status quo of things, because you've hit the nail right on the head. You burn through so many people now pitching. You have to think of who is going to play tomorrow, who is going to pitch tomorrow, what will the lineup look like tomorrow, from every standpoint of time. And you got Kyle Tucker, who's running, who's playing the game. Well,
I told you my thought about that.
And it turns out you might have been right.
He's starting to hit the ball and run a little bit because you know what? At any given moment, the Cubs could be end of the season, and he can't go to this negotiating table sitting going, I want $400 million, and they're going to say, what did you do in the playoffs?
He's not even worth $100 million.
No.
Let me say that, because how is he any better in right field than Suzuki? How is he any better as a DH than Suzuki?
Well, he's a $400 million guy because he wants the length of contract.
Okay.
To make him $400 million.
You can still have that without.
In your case, if he's a $100 million guy, you could give him 3 years at $33 million. That's $99 million.
Right fielders are not worth $100 million.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they're not.
So,
in my opinion, I think Dansby Swanson is a $100 million guy, but he plays shortstop.
Well, no. Dansby Swanson's
I think he's $100 million.
He's making $240 million.
Oh, even better. Making double than what I thought he was making.
He's $27 million, I think, for 7 years or 8 years. That's $200 million.
Because, right now, they got so much money and so much time invested with so many people. Next year, there's not going to be much of a change. There's not going to be so much of a...
There has to be a change. There's got to be a change because if you're striking out... First of all, this swing and miss thing, if you're averaging 10 strikeouts... First of all, you're not going to win... You should not win playoff series when you are striking out 10 times a game. How the hell are you doing this?
And well, the big thing of it is, and again, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because this is going to open up a Pandora box into something else, but yet... We looked this up. He's hitting 188 against left-handed hitting. Drum roll, please. Playing in center field for your Chicago Cubs. Number 4, Pete Crow Armstrong. He hit 188 against left-handed pitching this season. 109 games, I think it was.
No, I can't.
And he only got 32 hits. 32 hits out of 110 games. Left-handed pitching.
I can't rag on him tonight because he got a hit in the first inning and knocked in 2 runs. Okay? But later, the ball that he attempted to catch in center field, he couldn't have caught that at all.
Oh, you made the attempt.
He made the attempt, and it came to a double, and a run did score eventually off of that.
Well, they won the game.
And they won the game. Okay, so... how long do you continue to play Matt Shaw, who has not had a hit in 6 games?
Well, he's the only third baseman that they have. He's the only real third baseman that this entire organization has. And that is scary in itself because, I know you and I talk about how it was, 10, 11, 12 guys to find Michael Bush.
Right.
For first, because in between, look it up, between Rizzo and Bush, it was somewhere between 10 to 12 people. It was a who's who. Matt Mervis being one of them, who was a Chicago Cub prospect, from the organization itself, no longer with the team. Third base, it was revolving door. After Bryant, it was Wisdom, there was Morrell, there was Madrigal. Not necessarily in that order, but still, none of those three people are with this organization no
But
more.
could you have taken a flyer and you put Turner in a pinch hitting role? Or could you... I'm not a big Willie... I think the Willie Castro trade was just something to do.
Pointless.
But you know what? He's a switch hitter and can play third. He can put the bat on the ball. Turner has had a couple of hits in the 6 games, but at the expense. But now you're sitting there going, if you pinch hit him, then you might need that glove in the 8th and 9th.
Well, when you made the trade for Willie Castro, and again, I hate to say this because every radio show, every talking figure has said this. Waddle and Waddle, was it Sylvie or Civy? Sylvie. Waddle said on the show today. This morning, he said, his exact quote was, Jed had the opportunities to get reinforcements and he didn't do it. And they made 2 trades, I think it was. One of them was Willie Castro. But that's the only one people remember. Because Willie Castro is a position player and he's a switch hitter. But his primary spot is in the outfield, and you got Owen Casey, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kevin Alcantara, Ian Happ. Where is Willie Castro gonna be?
Where is the guy that I was banging the drum that the Cubs should have gotten? Where's he playing right now? Who is the guy that I said would be a wonderful fit at third base?
I don't even remember who you were talking about.
He's playing third base now for the Seattle Mariners. Suarez.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember.
Okay, and you know what?
I do remember that.
And you would have had Suarez to hit, and in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, you would have put in the vacuum cleaner at third base, Mr. Shaw.
And he's a great defensive.
And he's a great third baseman defensively, and you would have had both things. Okay, now if you take Shaw out of the game,
you have no one else.
Then you're weak at third.
You have nobody else.
And then if you get the bases loaded in the 4th inning and Shaw's up, again, he has not had a hit in 6 games.
I think Horner, and I think Horner in college at Stanford played third.
Horner has played third.
And I think Bush, because you keep bringing it up, Bush came up as a third baseman.
Right.
But with the Dodgers, he was never going to play third.
No.
He was never going to play first.
No.
So that's why.
And if you wanted to fool around with the lineup, you could theoretically put Horner at third, and then you could put Bush at second, and then you could put Turner at first.
But the real situation was, and this goes back to he who shall not be named, Christopher Morrell. The moment they did that broke everything, because I blame them platooning Bush for Turner because of that. Because it's, after that, they now realize, oh, wait a minute, we're a little shaky in the infield, all things considered. We're a little, problematic in the infield, all things considered. But it's just, you're good up the middle. It's a question mark at catcher, because you want Miguel Maya to be back there, but he's been hurt twice, so you don't know how he's going to be coming back.
No, and you're gonna figure out who the gamers are in the next game. Because if the Cubs win the next game, I feel pretty damn good that they could go up to Milwaukee and win that one. But now you got Shaw, Happ, Armstrong. When there's guys on now Armstrong got a big hit today, but those 3 collectively.
Tucker got a big hit.
Tucker got a hit.
Happ got a big hit.
Okay, but now you're sitting there tomorrow going, it's the 7th inning, and it's 3-2 or 5-3, and you got guys on second and third and 1 out, and you need a fly ball. Can one of those guys come through and get some insurance runs? And that's what puts me on pins and needles with this Cubs team. Yeah, you're doing, and they're doing things right now with duct tape and bubble gum.
They're playing more so not to lose than to win.
They're only 1 game out. Okay.
Well, they're 1 game away.
They're 1 game, and if you were to watch all these other games, like if you watched Toronto and the Yankees.
Yeah.
And you watch Philadelphia and the Dodgers.
I know the Red Sox lost, but look, they played great.
And if you look at that, the Cubs are the weakest hitting team out of all the remaining teams.
They're top-heavy home run hitting.
And then you sit there and go, and then Counsell go.
He looks befuddled every day. Does he not look lost?
Yeah, and every day each of these relievers only pitch 1 inning.
And is it true that Pat Murphy has snacks in his dugout?
In his back pocket.
He's got food.
I told you he had those mini
He's got
pancakes.
Wait, what?
I'm not making this up. You guys can Google it. He had little half-dollar sized pancakes in his back pocket during when the Cubs, one of the last series is the Cubs played Milwaukee in that 5-game series. He would pull them out of his back pocket and he was eating mini dollar or half-dollar pancakes.
I wonder if they were good.
How good can they be if you're sitting in your
Was
ass?
he sitting on them?
I don't know if he was sitting on them or not. But
that's like old school baseball, is it not? And where it's like, yeah, I'm just eating these things.
But so then they lost the first game 9-3, and then they lost 7-3 the other day, and there was 3 home runs hit. I am inclined that from this point on in this Milwaukee series,
I'm optimistic,
that
cautiously.
Imanaga doesn't see the mound at all. I don't see how, because if he's not going to pitch tomorrow,
No, he wouldn't.
then that means does he come in
No.
in the dome
No. Not
in
in
Milwaukee
Not in Game 5.
in Game 5 where they beat the piss out of him?
No.
And you know what? If you backtrack,
If they make it out.
you go all the way to the White Sox series, and the White Sox beat the piss out of them.
Well, and you know what? And again, you said this very early on in the year. And again, I know you didn't really want this show to go down this rabbit hole because we want to save this for a later date for, no spoilers, but anything. And you said this earlier on, my point being, they're very high. They being the Cubs management, the Cubs fan base, marketing team, and they're giving him, the shout. He's singing in the shower commercials, and he's looking stupid and whatnot. Even you said that. And normally you're not one to, fall on a sword for $1 million athletes and, try to make them save face or nothing. But when a guy like you is like, this doesn't look all this too good here, you're probably onto something here, because he had the great year. His first season so far was good. And his second one has been scary, to say the least.
It is. And by proving this, and we're putting our recaps down the road, he does not appear as a number 1 in the future.
No.
So, and we'll talk about that when the season gets done. But now we're at with the Matt Shaw. I made the point today that Matt Shaw hasn't gotten a hit. I could go to the plate right now and be 0 for 6 games.
Yeah.
In this playoff series, and me and Matt Shaw would have the same offensive ability together. Okay? Period. I'm not saying I'm Matt Shaw, I'm not saying it, but you know what? I got as many hits as he does in 6 games.
But again, why are they not platooning? As I counted, 6 outfielders.
Okay.
You can rewind the tape. I counted 6 outfielders. And Armstrong's hitting 188 against left-handed pitching.
If there's a lefty on the mound tomorrow,
he's almost an automatic out.
Tomorrow I would not be. If there was a lefty starting tomorrow, in his first 2 at bats, I would bat.
Who pitches left-handed for Milwaukee? I don't even know.
They got a guy. Well, I got a feeling that Palencia is going to pitch tomorrow. I think they want to. I think they're going to try to finish it off tomorrow. If they are, because if you roll in and you lose 2 in a row and you're going into Game 5, the cheese is going to be able to bind a little bit, and if you
that's
lose,
a constipation reference, I think, for those.
Yes, because if you lose that Game 3 and lose 3 in a row to your rivals, heads are going to roll in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So I don't know what's going to happen. It's a late game tomorrow. It's at Wrigley. It's 8. I don't know what
time is it?
8:08.
That's a bad scheduling there. They got nothing but time to sleep.
Okay. I can do an entire show of the timing and the channels that these games are on.
I'll give you your entire song and dance on that.
Eventually, but it's 8:08 tomorrow. Okay.
Blackhawks lost their opener, by the way.
It's supposed to be cooler tomorrow. The wind will be coming in a little bit more. So you don't know what's going to happen.
If they make it, but the thing of it is, and that's a big if, because I'm cautiously optimistic. Because after further review, the fact that they've made it past the Padres was a miracle in itself.
Because if you looked at if you look by names on that Padre lineup,
yeah, they're loaded.
You wonder how in the hell did the Cubs beat them?
They're loaded.
Okay.
And out of anybody, for me, I needed them to beat the Padres because they had to right the wrong from 1984, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay, but tomorrow another do or die game, and I don't want to hear they came back in 2016. It was two different teams.
Yeah.
Two totally different teams. This team is not even remotely close to the ball players that were in 2016.
No.
All right? And I don't want to hear any of that. Though
Arrieta's not pitching.
No.
Hendricks is not pitching.
Javi Baez hit a home run today for Detroit. And he's back playing at shortstop. What hurts me a little bit, because Trey Sweeney from Eastern Illinois University is now not there. Maybe he's hurt. I don't know. But Baez is now playing. Baez and Gleyber Torres are playing short and second combined.
I don't want to hear about I'm tired of hearing about Gleyber Torres.
Okay, but
I'm tired of hearing about that.
You're right.
He was never going to play on that team.
Okay, but for those...
I know, I get it.
But for the people who are watching out there, Gleyber Torres was an ex-Cub. And they traded him for Chapman, for Aronis Chapman, and it worked out great because Cubs won a World Series in 2016. But it's tomorrow, 8:08, first pitch. I didn't see any post-game stuff, so I have no idea who tomorrow's starter is. I bet they haven't even announced it. I have to agree that it should be Assad should get the start.
He has, and you don't think those glasses are legitimate?
I don't. And then you know what? I would bring in Colin Ray as my second guy, because you're not going to use Colin Ray's not going to start on Saturday. Okay, but maybe he could. I would pitch Colin Ray before I would pitch Imanaga on Saturday.
I mean, but again,
in the Dome in Milwaukee,
they have to get there. They have to win tomorrow night in order to get there.
The only guy who's off the table is probably Boyd, because Boyd's probably going to be Game 5 starter.
And he's been rocked.
He has been rocked. Everybody else...
And everyone will say, it's Matthew Boyd. It's Matthew Boyd. He's an all-star. Yeah. In what way, shape, and form? In what way, shape, and form
or maybe
was Matthew Boyd an all-star?
Boyd pitched Saturday, and tomorrow's Thursday. Maybe they might come back with Boyd at Wrigley Field tomorrow. And then you save Assad and Ray.
Does Carson Kelly come back next season?
Yeah. You've been answering that question.
Asking the question. I don't have an answer.
Major league catchers are a dime a dozen.
Well, Carson Kelly's been a good find.
He was a good find. But again...
Amaya has been hurt twice.
Okay, but as I said before, certain players have already had career years. Carson Kelly is not going to hit 18 home runs next year in a Cub uniform. He's going to regress to like 9 or 11. And if you're happy with that, then you bring him back. But if you think that this is just a tipping point and he's going to hit 22 next year, I think you're all doing illegal drugs and whatever illegal drug you want to use. Okay? Because it's not going to happen. All right? He's been in baseball. He's over 30 years of age.
I think He's
not like all of a sudden he's gradually working up to 17. This is the most he's ever played. This is the most games he's ever played in his career.
Maybe he just needed somebody to give him a chance.
You know. No, is he better than McGuire? No. Okay, you answered your question. You get rid of McGuire and you keep Kelly and you bring in the guy that's hurt. There's your two. And the answer to your question is yes. Please don't ask me that question again. The answer is yes. Okay? Because I don't even think McGuire's on the team.
Please don't ask that question.
Okay? You know, and he's an ex-Cardinal, and I don't want to hear this. Because Cardinal fans will come out and work, oh, you see, we could have had him. No, the Cardinals could have had him. But you had that piece of shit that you had for 21 years catching. You could have had him. Okay? You know, and we'll hear that. Oh, the reason the Cardinals win is because
you hear the news, people, you've heard the news. Albert Pujols in talks for the Angels job.
Yeah. Yeah, Cardinal fans, you got to be spinning your wheels over that one.
It's like, oh, yeah.
You know.
In a roundabout way, he would still spend more years with the Angels than he ever would in St. Louis.
Say that again, please.
In a roundabout way, even though Albert Pujols did play like his first 10 years in baseball with the Cardinals, and he's presumably spent more time in the farm system, and he did come back, but he had a 10-year time frame with the Angels as a player, and if he were to take the Angels' managerial job as the primary head coach in their dugout, he would still end up spending more time as a California Angel or Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, however way you want to name them. He would be spending more time out west than he would in the Midwest.
And when he goes to the Hall of Fame, he ain't putting on an STL hat.
He might not.
He might not. And you people out there, you'll be looking for legends to jump off the building. Okay?
That'd be hysterical.
Because you remember, you didn't want him.
You don't want to pay him.
You didn't want to pay him and you didn't want him. Just go, Albert.
But you still won without him.
You won without him, and you know what? You only brought him back. Did he hit his 500 in St. Louis?
No.
So he didn't hit his 500 in St. Louis. He didn't hit his 600 in St. Louis.
He only hit the 700 in St. Louis.
Only the 700. And you brought him back for that very reason.
He didn't get 3,000 hits in St. Louis.
Yeah.
No 2,000 RBIs in St. Louis.
So his big days
were
all elsewhere.
Basically.
Okay? And that's got to burn your asses.
And he didn't even play, and when he came back, he wasn't even playing every day.
No. And the only reason and it's like, hey, and you only brought him back to St. Louis to get the 700 home run because he needed 14 more, and he stuck around, and I got a theory behind that, okay? Because no other man who's ever played baseball in the last month at over the age of 40 has hit more home runs in the last month of baseball than Albert Pujols. And if you're telling me he was pure, I'm telling you right now you're full of crap.
It probably wasn't.
Okay? And he knew he was retiring, so go ahead and test me. I broke the record. All right? Or maybe he said, I'm refusing a test because he wasn't coming back.
Can you refuse a test?
Sure, but when you refuse it, you almost look like guilty, but he could say, I'm done. And what else is burning your ass, Cardinal fans, is the Cubs now will be playing 7 more games than what you played. 3 in the last series and 4 now.
And I don't see St. Louis being any better than what they were this year going into the next.
You know. There should have been an announcement already. Who's the general manager? What's their first move going to be? Blah, blah, blah. It was all we were hearing.
It was all doom and gloom the entire year.
It was all, and we can't wait for the Tuesday after the baseball season ends because we're going to make major announcements.
We want Oliver Marmol to be fired.
What? Yeah.
We want Schlitt. You know what?
Oliver Marmol, I still think is the manager.
You know what? And it's funny to me because everyone who I know who's a Cardinal fan, they're all talking about how they wanted Micah. Is it Schilt or Schlitt?
Schilt.
I always mispronounce his name, but the guy who's the Padres manager, with all that talent, it's like, we wanted him. I'm sorry, did the Cubs not kick his ass in the playoffs?
Okay. So, but
what is because they all talk about Schilt as if he's Joe McCarthy.
You know.
But
You know. And then I was getting some phone calls today, like right at 4:00 from people, like trying to derail me from watching a Cub game. You know, nice try. It didn't work.
people.
Didn't work.
People.
Okay, yeah, those are my Cardinal fan buddies. Okay, trying to, and they're like, well, the Cardinals suck. No, what's killing you right now is the Cubs are still playing.
Because if the Cardinals were in, it didn't matter how good or how bad that they were. It would be like, it would be like, oh, the Cardinals are in.
And don't tell me you're not giving a shit. You're sitting around. You may not be watching. You may not be watching the game, but you're finding out inning by inning whether they're winning or losing because you can't wait. You can't wait for the Cubs to get eliminated so you can open up the champagne bottles and go, hey, the Cubs didn't win. But you know what?
Had a better year.
Cardinal fans got the same seat I got. Okay? We're watching it at home. And Cardinal fans are in some witness protection program somewhere. Okay? They're hiding out in some bunker somewhere watching it, and they're watching because they don't want the Cubs to win. Okay? And you know what? Tough shit. The Cubs are still playing. Now, tomorrow we can do another show.
Yeah, it can be
and
different.
this whole
totally different.
This whole show can be totally different. And it probably will be.
It might, and it might not.
Okay? All right. But
as of now,
as of now, the Cubs they're still down 2-1. So if you get into the Chicagoland area, we got to give a shout out to famous pizza there, Aurelio's Pizza.
we're not paid.
We're not paid at all, but you could come home into the south suburbs, go to Homewood, Illinois.
Or the one downtown.
There's one right downtown on Michigan Avenue. If you come back from the Bear game, right there on Michigan Avenue, Michigan and Roosevelt Road, you can get a pizza there.
And this entire narrative that entire area by Soldier Field is a violent area. It's like, what are you smoking? That's by Shed Aquarium. That's by the Field Museum. There's another museum over there.
Yeah.
It's by the lakefront.
We could go in a whole show of how dangerous Chicago is. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But I think for what we accomplished tonight, we didn't get into a whole lot of debatable things. Right now, we got to decide who's going to pitch tomorrow. They need to put the bat on the ball and eliminate the strikeouts. And if they do that, but
easier said than done.
But they got to score other than the first inning.
Yeah, it's a miracle they won tonight.
Because there was, I think the Brewers had the bases loaded and one out.
Well, you call coffee crystals. I thought that was funny. I didn't mean to laugh at you, but when you gritted your teeth. Coffee crystal.
Coffee crystals with Ian Happ. His big thing is he's got this coffee.
And you claim you've never made yourself a cup of coffee before?
I've never made a cup of coffee for myself.
I'm
not a big coffee drinker.
I love coffee.
I have not had a cup of coffee since.
I love coffee.
May.
Since May.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I love coffee.
So when I was actually working kind of a deal, I would get a small cup, but I have not. And it's October because I'm living the dream now. Okay, I'm kind of sort of like a state worker, not really working, but getting paid. Throw that dig in there. But no, because I don't get up. I've never made myself a cup of coffee. But
I want to buy you his coffee.
So
can I give you the Ian Happ coffee for Christmas?
I don't want a subscription of Ian Happ coffee.
Don't worry. I can get it.
So tune us in tomorrow. Tune this one in, and then tune us in tomorrow because it'll be a celebratory thing with kind of a low key. Yeah. But if they lose, okay, they'll be, it'll be
if they lose,
it'll be a hostile
environment
show tomorrow, and then later on in the week when we do the wrap up, that will probably be all guns blazing.
Well, and that also leads into the Chicago Bears.
And then we'll go into the Bears because the Bears play Monday night.
Against Jaden Daniels.
They don't play Sunday. They play Monday. They're on national TV.
Against Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. A team that broke their spirit last year.
Quarterback 1 against quarterback 2.
Yeah.
A head coach what they maybe had an opportunity to get
So they should
And who
go.
did they end up getting?
Yep.
You know, Cliff Kingsbury and
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. And Cliff Kingsbury is the offensive coordinator. But we'll get back to some football talk. But until then, we're going to sign off for now. Hey,
Hey, Sports Chicago.
hey, Sports Chicago. Tune us in. Comment. Cardinal fans, come out of woodwork. Make comments.
White Sox fans, too.
White Sox. Okay? So,
Brewer fans, Al, you're open.
until tomorrow, watch the sports. Adios.